to your number 10 and my number 9, and that's the wide receiver position because it was always going to be there. The only reason I don't have them at 10 is because I'm a big believer in Devonte Ross and what he can do. And it's hard to deny some of the hype building around Kyron Hudson right now and what he's capable of. And maybe there's a little more upside to tap into there. Trebor Pena gives you this floor. Like, it's not about the returning talent. It's about those 3 guys could come in and, like, I just have to believe that one of them is going to be good, right? Like legitimately good. Probably 2 of them. You're hoping it's 3, but that feels a little less likely. If it's all 3, then like this is like they might run away with a lot of stuff this year as a team and blow some teams out that maybe you don't even expect. But I think as long as you hit on 2 of those guys, you're in a good spot. If you hit on one guy, it's fine. You're still in a better position than last year. And it's a spot that you can get away with having one guy hit because there is some, there's Tysier Denmark. Yeah, like you can backfill at other positions, but I think like chances are Tysier Denmark or Kobe Howard or somebody will step up of the young group too. And
Brown.
You get one vet, one young guy, and all of a sudden if you need to play 12 personnel and that's it, that's fine. But I think in all likelihood, we're looking at they're an 11 personnel team because those 3 guys are at least starter level guys. And at very worst, they have 2 of them and someone else steps up. So yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty confident that they're going to be a lot better than last year. I think if we were to do this last year and we ranked the 10 positions, I would have ranked the receivers 13th. Like, I think like they were so clearly so much worse than everybody else. I would have started making up positions that we could have thrown in there, like the water boy and the ball boy are both 11 and 12.
Yeah, because we did not rank the specialists. We did not include them
Yes.
in here because, again, John never is going to punt anyway, so what's the point?
That's right. That's 100% right.
So I think, when I was doing radio earlier this week, I was on Sirius XM, and we were talking about the wide receivers, and they said, well, okay, but weren't people gassing up Julian Fleming last year? And like, what makes this year different? And that's the question I want to pose to you, John, because what makes this year's transfer portal crop of receivers different to you that we have a little bit more confidence in them, that we at least kept them within the parameters of the game and didn't put them 13th?
So I think what changed with Julian Fleming was that physically he was like, he was not in the same spot that he was, and not from his own doing, by the way. He was in great shape, like put himself in position to succeed. His body just kind of betrayed him at a younger age than most, right? Like he was physically, taking a step back from a speed standpoint, from an athleticism standpoint. You see it all the time in the NFL, like where a guy is highly touted as a draft pick ends up going somewhere else because it's like, oh, he just needs a change of scenery, and he gets to a new place. It's like, oh, he's like 25 years old and it's not there anymore. And I think that happened with Fleming at 22, 23. Like he just didn't have the kind of requisite athleticism to excel. I think everything else was still there. It's just once that goes, it's like you're really, trailing at that point. This year, I don't think, you hope, you don't really know. But like, I don't think any of those guys are in that position where they're, they left their previous program for a bigger role. And it turns out they just kind of didn't meet the standard or kind of weren't up to stuff.
They don't have that injury history that's so
yeah. And like 2 of the guys in Ross and Pena are transferring up, right? Like from Syracuse and from Troy, they're trying to go from, okay, I did it at a smaller program. Can I do it at the biggest level? Kyron Hudson, I think, is a different scenario where they probably just needed a split there at USC, and like he wanted a bigger role and probably, frankly, wanted to feel valued more, and has shown the ability to do some high level things. And we've seen, like, he already looks better athletically than Fleming did last year, than other receivers did last year. And so I think as long as that sticks and as long as those guys aren't in that position, that they're going to be in great shape. Like, and frankly, like Pena and Ross and Hudson, like the film's just better than Trey Wallace and Amari Evans, right? Like there's more consistency. There's more high-end playmaking. I just trust them more to be at the highest level week in and week out. And again, the fact that you have 3 of those guys rather than, I don't know, none last year. Like I thought Wallace was actually at that point. He just he was always hurt. Like he struggled with that too.
I think that after West Virginia, where it's like Evans, Wallace, you're like, okay, maybe.
Yeah, and I think this year that hope will be like abundant after these first 3 games, right? Like I think people will see what these guys are
grading on a curve too with that, right? I mean,
I don't know that
opponents.
I think, yeah, but I think they'll excel in a way that you can, you know what I mean? Like we'll be able to see it against Nevada and against FIU. Villanova, it's like such a step down in competition level. But like FIU and Nevada, like I think we'll be able to see like, okay, like even like Amari and Trey weren't doing this against the worst of the worst last, like Bowling Green, they weren't doing it, right? Like I think these guys will step up in a
They were
way
on
that's
upset
obvious.
alert against Bowling Green last year at halftime.
Yes, I can't imagine. I mean, this is a jinx if I've ever heard one. So sorry,
Oh,
Penn State fans. I can't imagine that being the case against these three teams because these three teams are really bad in non-conference by design, by the way.
man, can you? Yeah, the tenor in Beaver Stadium, if that is even in question,
It's going to be a bad time.
half.
Yes, in the second quarter, I think. Like,
yeah, the locals, the fans will be restless if that is the case.